And a roll call. Larry?
Here.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Jean?
Yeah.
Joey?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
Reading of the minutes of the regular town board meeting, date March 12th, 2012, time 7 p.m. at the Altona Town Hall, Altona, New York. Supervisor Ross called the meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance, board members present. Supervisor Larry Ross, council members Jeannie Bushy, Joey Snide, Herbert Terrian, Ronnie Labarge. Others present, Deputy Supervisor Ellen Montgomery, Attorney Joseph Lavarando, Highway Superintendent Fred Terrian. Minutes of the February 13th, 2012 regular town board meeting were read and accepted. Motion by Joey, seconded by Ronnie, the vote was all ayes. Judge Allen Barlow's annual report was submitted and reviewed by the board. The town clerk tax collector submitted her annual report to the board. Excuse me. Resolution number 21, transfer funds, 2012 tandem axle dump truck. Motion by Larry Ross, seconded by Jeannie Bushy. The motion was adopted. To adopt as written, the resolution to transfer funds from the general type highway equipment capital reserve fund for the purchase of a 2012 tandem axle international dump truck. The formal resolution is included in these minutes. Vote all ayes. Resolution number 22, the Jerusalem Road. Motion by Jeannie, seconded by Ronnie. The motion was adopted. Kelly Donahue has requested clarification for the Jerusalem Road, Jerusalem Trail, and the Morehouse Road. Supervisor Ross will send emergency services details on how best to describe these above roads. Vote all ayes. Resolution number 23, sidewalks, Route 11. Motion by Herb Terrian, seconded by Ronnie Labarge. The motion was adopted. The board accepts the second proposal sent to the town by the New York State DOT, where the town agrees to the construction and maintenance of the sidewalks on Route 11 project. This second form does not include snow and ice removal from the sidewalks, which is what the board objected to. The request for certified copies will be sent to New York State DOT. Vote all ayes. Resolution number 24, Reading Center. Motion by Joey, seconded by Ronnie. The motion was adopted. The supervisor is authorized to sign the contract for the Public Reading Center for the 2012 year between the town of Altona and the trustees of the Clinton Essex Franklin CEF library system. The library system supplies a rotating book collection for card-holding readers. Vote all ayes. Resolution number 25, Post Roads. Motion by Joey, seconded by Herb. The motion was adopted. To authorize the highway superintendent to post town roads pursuant to section 1650 of the Vehicle and Traffic Law from March 16th to April 16th, 2012, to any non-essential vehicle in the excess of 5 ton to the axle. Vote all ayes. Resolution number 26, junk dealer's license. Motion by Herb, seconded by Ronnie. The motion is adopted. Supervisor Ross is authorized to sign the license for David Manor to operate a junkyard at 250 Lash Road in the town of Altona. Vote all ayes. Resolution number 27, approval of bills. Motion by Joey, seconded by Ronnie. Motion was adopted. To pay the bills as presented. General Fund, $5,225.23. Highway Fund, $10,736.44. Streetlight District Number 1, $1,170.48. Streetlight District Number 21, $222.09. Total, $17,354.24. Vote all ayes. Motion to adjourn by Joey, seconded by Ronnie. Vote all ayes. Respectfully submitted, Carol Relation, Town Clerk.
Need a motion on the minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept the
I'll
minutes.
second it.
And a vote, please. Herb?
Yes.
Jeannie?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Joey?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Okay, first thing on your agenda, I have C&E Fencing Company. I don't know if everybody has a copy of that, is it true?
No.
No. What it is, folks, is, it's an installation of a new, backstop for the little diamond that's right off of, what's the name of the road there? Starch Road, right off the Starch Road, and it's, put in by a fencing company and paid for by, the Brunel fund that they had from the fund that they had to do, they do certain things every year. And, so Fred took the old posts out, the new one, I don't know if it's up yet, I didn't have
It's
to.
supposed to be this week.
Okay,
I don't know, I just got back into town.
yeah, so that, just to let you know, that's what's going on, that's a brand new one all put up by this company. Number 2 on your agenda, Real Estate Learning Center. Chris Blair has been taking courses to become an assessor, and his next class is May 9th, 10th, 16th, and 17th. It's a 30-hour course. I have a bill here, I wanted approval of the board to pay it. It's $419, well, it'd be actually $419.28 minus the tax, which is $328 for that course. I didn't put it in the bills because I wanted him to be able to take, so we didn't misplace things here, and he could take this with him when he went. It's the appraisals course with the textbooks.
Isn't it mandatory, that's for votes?
Yeah, mandatory to get certified,
Need a motion on it?
yes.
I'll make a motion on it. I second it.
And a vote, please. Larry?
Yes.
Jeannie?
Yes.
Joey?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
And long as we're talking about this real estate, our assessor, Johnny Brunel, just got a statement from the Department of Taxation that, again, he's at 100% on all aspects of it, so he's up to date and everything's good. That's just for your information. Okay, Jerusalem Road. Now, they've asked for us to clarify with the Jerusalem Road what it actually is. So what I did was, got the road inventory out, and it says Jerusalem from the Alder Bend Road goes 1.65 miles. And then from the Jerusalem dead end to, which used to be the dead end, to like Wally LaGoy's house, where the dead end now is a total of 233, or 2 3/33 of a mile. Then the Morehouse Road from the other end, from Morehouse to the dead end where the pavement begins, is 0.56 of a mile. And then the Morehouse Road to pavement beginning to the county road, which is Rand Hill, is 0.06, which makes it 0.62. So that's what's on the road inventory. So we took the and made the determination based on that. The Jerusalem Road begins at the Alder Bend Road intersection, continues 2.33 miles in an easterly direction, where it dead ends by the house owned by Wallace LaGoy. The Morehouse Road begins at the intersection of Rand Hill Road and continues 0.62 miles in a westerly direction, where it dead ends at the Stillwater Brook. Then the Jerusalem Trail is a trail that starts where the dead end is located at Wallace LaGoy's house and ends at the dead end of the Morehouse Road at the Stillwater Brook. So that's what I put in for the description. And he wanted a resolution to that effect sent to him, which I don't. Does anybody have a problem with that? Does that sound all right? Let's,
Yeah, I'm sorry, may I just interject? The other papers that you have in there is where Larry got his information.
Okay.
Yeah, from the abstract,
Yeah.
there was an abstract check.
Yeah,
There was also another resolution years ago to make sure that stayed Morehouse Road and not be called Jerusalem Road, which the county tried to get us to switch it to. So that's how that came about. And, so I need a motion to accept these descriptions and send them on to Kelly O'Donnell.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Could I ask a question?
Sure.
first, please? Once the two roads, so we have two different, the Morehouse Road and Jerusalem Road, the land in between that, is that still a trail passable by?
I called Watertown, and he said that it isn't, because it's not, what it is controlled by landowners. So in other words, if you own both sides of that road, if you gate it, you've gotta give anybody else that lives in there, has property in there, a key to it. You can't just gate it like that, but he said that it reverts to them. If you own one side of the trail, you own the center. If you own both sides, you own the road, but you have to give people keys that have property in there. That was the question I asked him. And then that question came up this week also. Somebody was questioning that, and they were here when I called Watertown, so I guess they were satisfied with their answer there anyway. So anybody, is that
and we have a motion
Help
and
you,
a
or-
second.
No, I'm gonna vote against it myself, so.
describing it? That's all we're voting on, is
No,
describing
but
it.
as far as being able to lock the road off.
But we aren't voting on that. That's
No,
nothing to do with
but
us.
that, once we do this, it leads us in that direction too, to allow the people to gate it off, right?
No, it's just a description of what our paperwork shows that we have. It's not giving anybody anything, actually. Whatever it has been, it is. All we're doing here is describing what our distances are on our CHIPS program and stuff like that. No, if we wanted to accept that, it hasn't been maintained in, I don't know how many years, I don't know if it ever has been all the way through. But we could take that road back if we decided that, that people wanted us to have it back, they bring it up to standards and then try to give it back to the town. Or give it to the town, like you should say.
It can't be blocked off. Apparently.
The only, according to him, they can block it as long as they give everybody a key that's gonna use it. But that isn't in our description. Our description just tells what we have, that's all. Somebody already
What
did.
this is
already
doing
up
is
there,
just
Sharon.
clarifying it for the
For the
county, for
emergency.
emergency.
Yeah, for emergency
So
services.
that they know what end
Right.
they have access.
Right. They wanted to have it, they wanted it different, they wanted it to be Jerusalem Trail all the way through. Well, it can't be, because it was brought up before not to do that. And then they wanted everything changed because they said they didn't know which end of the Jerusalem Road they're on. I said, well, that other end isn't Jerusalem Road, so you don't have to worry about it. And we got another resolution to bring up where we voted against renumbering it.
Right.
We'll talk about that next, but this motion is just to be able to send emergency services the description. Okay, so I need a motion.
Yeah, we have the motions out, motion by Herb and seconded by Jean. Now we need a vote. And this is just to approve of Larry's description of the road to send to Kelly Donahue.
Okay,
Okay, we have a vote, please. Joey,
Yes.
Herb,
Yes,
Ronnie,
Yes.
Jeannie,
Yes.
Larry.
yes. Okay, the next thing is, Kelly O'Donoghue said that he wanted to change the numbering of the road, and we came out against it last meeting. So he came in, I told him, I said, no, we're not for renumbering the road, because it causes a lot of problems. He said, well, I don't care, he said, it's gonna be done anyways, he says, I'm gonna do it anyway. I said, well, what did you bother asking for? Because I said, you're gonna do it without the okay of the board. But, that doesn't mean to say we have to change our mind. He said the reason is because when it was done originally, they didn't put the certain numbers on the right-hand side. They have numbers on the right, numbers on the left, you could, either odd or even on one side, whatever. And they didn't do it that way, and I said, the reason is because you never asked anybody that knew what was going on up there, you just did it, so. And I said, the board didn't approve of renumbering because people had to change their deeds and people had to, change their addresses and all this stuff. So I told him that was probably coming, but he wanted a vote of the board on that, and that's what we're voting on. Do we wanna change our mind and give him our wishes on changing the numbers?
Was he basing the change of the numbers anticipating we were gonna change the road?
No, he just said wasn't done properly to start with, and he wanted to renumber it. Well, we had voted last month that people thought it was an undue hardship.
Yeah, right, and I think even our lawyer agreed with us on that.
He's saying it's for emergency purposes, he can do it without us, and I said, well, you probably will be then, so. But anyway, we need a motion to send along to him that whether we accept the renumbering or we don't accept the renumbering.
The thing is, the people that live there now, that have their addresses sent to them,
They're gonna get it
it's gonna
probably
change
anyways,
their-
but
It's gonna change their addresses.
Regardless,
Yeah.
if he does it. That's, wrong.
if he does it without, then it's on the county as far as I mean. They did this road, the same thing, they went ahead and did it wrong to start with and then told us after the fact, so. So we need a motion, or do we have one on there, Karen, before?
No, we just need a motion to address the address changes, whether you agree with it or not. And it's probably not gonna change him, we're just gonna send it along to him, because that's what he wants.
Yeah. So we need a motion to address the renumbering of the road.
I'll make a motion. I'll second it.
Okay, now, so are we not agreeing to it? We didn't, well,
If
we
we-
could just make a motion saying we don't agree, or we do
We'll just make
agree.
that motion. If they vote no, then they don't agree. If they vote yes, then they agree.
Okay. And this is.
Do you think they're gonna change the address anyway?
Probably gonna change it just the same. He said they were. Said he could do it, and I said, then you shouldn't ask.
That's your support.
Okay, we'll vote on it. Larry?
No.
Jeannie?
No.
Herb?
No,
Ronnie?
No.
And Joey?
no.
Okay, along with the roads, I've got Butternut Way over here. Now, they don't have a Butternut Way anymore because they took that road out and put that long driveway in for
D4?
D4, yeah, Mrs. D4. You know what we're talking about now over here on Joe Wood Road? Mrs. D4 lives
Right
over there.
there,
It's off the old powerhouse road.
Where the old
Right,
bridge was.
right.
Okay, the old bridge was dangerous, so they decided that they would build a road in from down by past Allen's. In there, the county would build that road rather than fix the bridge, so they did, so there's no longer a Butternut Way. So we need a motion to remove Butternut Way from our list of roads as a name.
Will that remove that driveway? Just going to the river?
No, cause that's Powerhouse Road, right? Does Butternut Way go off of Powerhouse Road?
Or is it just across the bridge?
Goes off of it.
Is that just across the bridge, Crum?
Yeah, it just starts right at the edge of the road and Jim went across the river. That was it.
That was okay.
It was like 200 feet long or something.
That
So
was it.
Butternut Way started
was
where,
our
after the
property.
bridge?
Pardon?
Butternut Way started after the
The
bridge?
bridge starts almost at the edge of the road.
But there's 15/100ths of a mile called the Powerhouse Road.
Right.
Yeah.
And then does Butternut Way go?
Powerhouse Road goes straight in off the Joe Wood Road, and then it turns right and goes down a ways, I'm not sure just how far. Probably just shy of the little bridge that went over the penstock.
Okay.
or no, there was a bridge that went over the river that Miner had built, a little concrete thing.
I think that's where the other bridge is now.
But somewhere down there, so Butternut Way would come off of that, right after the L in that road, it would come off from the edge of the road and go due west,
Her house, so, right.
incorporating the bridge plus a few hundred feet more.
Well, that was private property there anyhow. wasn't it?
Yes, that's why it's
They
called
own
a way.
that land.
Yeah.
That's why they call it a way, because it's private. So, we need a motion to take that Butternut Way off the list of names off the map or whatever, off our inventory. It's not on our inventory because it's a way, but it's, we gotta take the name off according to Kelly.
What are they gonna call the other road
I don't know, he didn't.
from my road down through that they built? Did they actually buy property to build that road, or they just go, well, we
I think they just stuck it there.
they went right down through the woods?
Right in the right of way.
Oh, nobody said that.
Stayed right in the right of way.
Well, don't they already have a name for that road? Cause isn't that where the Adirondack Riders
ARC
motorcycle property
Way.
is?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
ARC,
Something like.
ARC Way, yeah, that's right, that's what it is.
So is that her address
Yeah.
Yeah,
now? So if she needed emergency
Yep,
assistance,
that's the-
that's her
the name of
existing
that.
address?
yeah.
That Kelly.
He always makes things hard, right? So anyway,
Well, I'll make a motion to remove Butternut Way,
I'll second it.
because there's no access on there. If someone were to call saying that Dufour's needed help,
They can't get over
Butternut
it.
Way, they can't get to them
Right.
on Butternut Way.
Right. Okay, can we have a vote, please? Jeannie?
Yes.
Joey?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Larry?
yes.
Herb?
Yes.
Now, the next thing is Powerhouse Road. Do we wanna keep Powerhouse Road being it's on the inventory and maintain that, Fred, or do we wanna not have Powerhouse Road anymore? Yeah, to maintain it is nothing, you just go in there, I mean, there's people own property in there, so.
It's good, a lot of people from the village here, they go fishing down there too, you know, they hate to see that lost.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to, but if we keep it, we gotta change its name.
Why?
Why?
Wait just a minute, make sure I didn't mistake that.
It's already got a name and the people already have their addresses on that road, Larry.
Let me just see here what I. Yeah, he said if we keep the road, we need to change its name because he has other Powerhouse roads. Nobody lives in there,
Altona?
so it's not affecting
No,
nobody.
Kelly has other powerhouse
Yeah.
roads, we don't.
Yeah, right.
So,
Kind of more.
we can keep the road, maintain it.
Don't let Kelly push you around.
Well, it's not so much that, I mean, I can, the thing about this road is it doesn't really affect anybody's address or anything. So if we do change the name or give in on that one, we're not hurting anybody's, physical address where they gotta get everything changed and all that.
Is there anything back there that you would need a fire call from or anything? Is there any, no homes back
Unless
there?
somebody puts something in there in the future, there isn't anything right now.
Is it private property?
It would be private property on each side of it, yeah.
Why would it even need to be changed though? If it's already got a name and people already have their deeds with their addresses and everything on it, why change anything?
Well, he said that they had so many other Powerhouse roads that he wanted to change.
Well, there's a Smith Road in every town too, you know? There's Main Street in every town, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
In a main street
makes no
area?
sense.
Well, we can get more information on it, see if we can come up with more, maybe he wants to, it's up to you guys.
Something a little more substantial to justify that. I don't see any reason for changing that.
All right, well, let's table Powerhouse Road until he gives us more to go by,
The whole town knows Powerhouse Road.
Sure.
Yeah.
okay? What's next on the agenda here? This week, or May, let's see, what is it? I think it's May 1st. DEC's coming to have an emergency action plan gone over, updated for the McGregor Dam. DEC will be here, all the emergency, steps will be involved with this. They bring everybody together, they go over our call list, Ellen and I went over that, it's all updated. And then they're gonna tour the dam and see what, if they have to do something to make it stop leaking, or what they're gonna do with the dam.
Put a hole in it.
I told them they shouldn't have built it in the first place, but they were told, actually were told by the contractor that it would, they'd have trouble with it the way they did it. And they said, well, the money, they didn't have that much money that they were gonna do it that way anyways. And so, I think they probably did it for nothing, and it leaks. It's new, but it leaks, and, but anyways, they're coming first part of May, anybody wants to be involved in that. Ellen, could you be to that? You were usually with me on that too. I think it's still May 1st, so it's either, they went for May 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. He keeps writing every other day, so it changes things. Yeah, May 1st, which is a Tuesday, is what he's looking at right now, so if anybody else wants to be involved in that, they can.
They're gonna rebuild those dikes too when they start leaking, for worse than they are?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We're gonna find out, they're gonna take a big tour. Coming up, they'll be taking their big tour to find out what to do next with it, I guess. I felt they shouldn't have built it in the first place, but they didn't listen to me.
Do you have a time on that, Larry? Like what time you're gonna be doing that?
Usually it's, yeah, there's a time here somewhere, let's see. It seems like it was. Seems like it's like around noon. I don't see it, I don't see it here anymore. But 1.5 to 2 hours for the meeting. And I believe it starts at noon. I don't see it written on there, but I think he told me noon anyways. And, I'll get ahold of him or look, see if he's got it somewhere else in there, and I'll call you if you want. Yeah. Okay, next thing is the code of ethics that we've been trying to deal with. Did you run the other one off, Carol, too? The one
No.
you had? No, I ran this one.
Yeah, okay, I know we had this one, but I didn't do the other one.
I did,
We had
I did
changed-
our original, the one I did.
Right, that's the only one we had.
Okay, so you didn't
Yes,
get the
no.
old one, okay. This
That's
is
what
a
you built.
newly typed one.
Right.
Okay, yeah. Okay, well, code of ethics. I went to those meetings, and I told you this, I guess, last month, and took what looked like would fit the town of Altona the best, and I put together a code of ethics, and then when you looked at it last month, you had 2 pages missing, so it didn't look very good. So I brought it back in its entirety so that you can see it. I changed it a little bit because the way I had it written before, we had to have a local law passed in order to enact it, and it isn't really necessary, so I changed it so we could do it by resolution. And in the meantime, after Joe had seen mine, he didn't get the finished copy of it. He had sent one that is model, what do you call it here? Model Code of Ethics recommended by New York State, he sent. Well, his was 12 pages, and I didn't really care for it, but I'll leave that up to the town board. This is the one I did. I'll get you the one he did, so that you can compare them, and then we can vote on which one you want to accept. This front and back, the one I did, it's 4 pages. His was 12, so my thoughts on it were that before, you're supposed to give this to everybody who works for you and that kind of thing, before they'd sit there and read 12 pages, they're gonna throw it away. I felt 4 pages is pushing it. But part part of the four pages is this resolution, which they won't have to read anyway, so they're reading actually 3 pages. But, I'll try to get you that copy of the other one.
I have the one copy, if you want to pass it on down.
Yeah, well,
But we should get them all, yeah.
I can run them off there before they go, maybe. I'll just put it on, so it puts 2 on one.
I thought by the time we changed this was what we were going with, it was my misunderstanding.
Yeah, well, I didn't know which way the board, if the board wanted that, the 12-page one or not, but it got into, like, if you own 5% of a company or something, you had to go and register that you had a conflict of interest and all that. And there was a lot of little, things in there that I didn't think really pertained to us that much, where you had to keep records of this and keep records of that. And I could see no purpose in it, but if you do and you wanna do that, we'll entertain both of them, one of them will pass, that's all. I got everything that I felt pertinent to our town in here, and the other one is just going into more details is all it did. So, I'll give you a copy of it and we can decide. Supervisors meeting is coming up, April 20th at 10:30. Betty Little's gonna be there, and so is Bill Owens. I'm gonna look for, see if they can give us any help with a grant for the senior housing, the roof on the senior housing. See if there's any money out there available so that we can finish that roof, and that would be one last big part of the puzzle down there. I'm also gonna bring up, some other things that I think I mentioned some of them before, but all these courses that for positions, like, the codes officer, the assessor, whatever you have, all kinds of these things. They have all these classes, but they have them all over the state. So we gotta pay somebody to go stay 2 or 3 days here or there. Well, like Chris, for instance, he's gotta go 4 different days, 2 days, then come home, then go back 2 more days. Why don't they do them all online? We can't afford to be running all over towns and creation, so I'm gonna bring that up. They were looking for ways to get rid of some of the mandates. Well, to me, that's something they could do very easily. There's other things like, well, prevailing wage, I think they should do something about that. It hurts all the local people here from working on stuff that we have in town, and it prevents the town from doing a lot of projects because it doubles the price of everything. I think there should be something done about that. So those are kinds of things I'm gonna bring up at this meeting, and if anybody wants to go, I need to know in order to call ahead of time, so that they'll have seats for you. That's gonna be 10:30, April 20th, that's Friday. Next thing, Youth Commission Coordinator. I have only one person that's expressed interest in the coordinator spot. I sent his information and everything is a go on that if we decide to vote on him, and it's Jim Burnell as a coordinator for the Youth Commission. So if anybody has nothing to say about that, I need a motion to.
I'll make a motion to accept it.
I'll second it.
And that's for the 2012. And a vote, please. Joey?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Jeannie?
I probably should abstain from voting on that one.
He's been doing a lot of work there for years, and he just redid that ball field as part of their project there last year, where they're putting the backstop. He does do a nice job with it, he does know the job, and he does have time for it, so I think he'll do a good job with it. And I decided to work a little bit backwards with that because of the personnel department. I've had a very good track record there sometimes, so I sent his information first to make sure that he met all their requirements that they're always whining about, and they said he did, so that's a good thing. Lights for the town hall, that's one of those things that keep dragging along. I did go to the Champlain Valley Electric Supply. I know we're gonna have to change them all sooner or later here, so what we've been trying to do, we had a quote from this company to come in and do it for us. But I had rumors that maybe their equipment, the materials they're using weren't top notch. That was just rumors, but they could do it all for $3,186. That's all the lights in the hall and in the garage and stuff. I got a local estimate from a local electrician. It was $4,012.67. And then I went and got a quote from Champlain Valley Electric. I asked another local electrician, he didn't give me a price. And Champlain Valley Electric there's more to this, these are the parts, was $2,150.46, or $2,190.46. They didn't get me the rest of it yet. They had to look it up still and get back with me with, I don't know if it's the housings of it or whatever, but it didn't have everything. There are two more electric companies I'll go to check before we decide on one, but I know this guy is getting impatient for an answer.
Is there a time limit on his answer?
Well, he says there's some kind of a grant by NICEAG or something, and that if we don't hurry up, we'll miss that grant. Other people have said there is no grant, so it's one of those things, you don't know who to believe, who to trust here, but,
At work, I work at Night Automotive, they had, NICEAG paid us to change out all the lights. I don't know if that's the same thing that you're talking about. And it cost us nothing to upgrade to these new efficient lights, so they did our whole shop.
cost you nothing. See, and we can't do that because,
You did better than we did.
yeah, they won't let us
Well,
do that.
I had it done at the
Prevailing wages won't let us
store.
here.
They paid 70% of the cost, and I think it ended up costing us a little over 400.
Well, with his one that he gave us here, this was supposed to be their share of it subtracted. And because it was prevailing wage, it added a whole bunch of money on there. So we couldn't, it jacked it up. So I thought, well, if I can get the prices and do it myself, I think I can beat their price. So I don't know what I'm gonna be into as far as if you can just take those down and put a new one up, that wouldn't be a big deal. I don't know if there's gonna be some kind of, you know how every project you get into, it ends up worse than you think, so I don't.
Would you want the liability if there was ever an issue, if something wasn't connected right, and there was a fire hazard or something though?
Well, that's a good point. I could have it checked by an electrician too, I don't know. That's a good point, though. I don't know. I've asked for help to figure out what we need to put in there, and we haven't gotten anywhere yet, so here we sit with our old lights, but,
We take them at work, we take these same style lights and we put ballast in them.
that's what he was
And
gonna
then we
put the ballast in.
revolve them. But you're talking a lot of money there too, because the ballast is.
Well, see, that's what that quote was, just to put the ballast in.
Right.
I thought that you could get the whole light cheaper, and the guy told me that too, you get the whole light cheaper and you get the ballast and the parts. So I said, well, we'll do that, and then, but so far, yeah.
Be cheaper, really, so the lowest light. By the time you buy the balancer, then your parts.
Yeah, you're gonna be out this month, too. So I don't know, we're still looking at, we got the option of paying him $31,8666 or hiring a local electrician for $4,012.67. We're getting a couple more quotes that they promised me that haven't come in, so I don't know.
If we can't get the grant, I think Champlain Valley, that was a pretty good price.
Well, that's only part of the price, so
Oh,
they
it's
haven't got
only
the rest
part
of
of
it
it.
to us
Oh,
yet.
get the rest.
The other two didn't get me it yet either, so, we wanna drag our feet a little bit more, or do we wanna?
Our church in Saranac just went to Champlain Valley Electric. We got new ballast and new bulbs, and one of my guys are putting in, we got what was $700, of course, we have a small area, $796, and we got a $438 rebate.
That's pretty
So ask them about a rebate from Champlain Valley Electric.
good. Yeah. Well, our next meeting's only like a couple weeks away anyways.
Sure.
So why don't I push harder to get
Sure.
more quotes
Yeah.
from those other, there's, I
Right.
remember the name of that other electric company, but I have called them, they haven't get back to me yet. And I'll push that and I'll ask about that and see what we can do if we, and point well taken about connecting them. I think what I would have to do if I did it myself, I'd have to allow enough to have somebody come and check it,
Yeah, that'd be great.
take liability away. I don't mind doing the work, but at the same token, I don't wanna be responsible for the place burning down either. So we'll table that again until next meeting then. Additions at the park. In the past, we've had problems with it. People put additions on their campers and they built everything out of maybe cardboard or maybe pallets or something like that, and it started to look like a shantytown, and she's got it pretty much cleaned up. But I have a couple of requests for people to put more additions in there, and I looked at one that they just did, and it's really nice, they did a really nice job on it. So, my first thought was say, no more building, if you get something, you gotta buy it, or you get the camper, and well, the lady that just asked to build one in there, her estimate to buy what she wanted was $10,000, and she can get it made out of good stuff for a little over $1,000, so, I thought, well, you know, we're really hurting somebody like that and most of those people are fixed incomes. So, in order to control that, what do you think about them having to give us material list and plans? You know, so we got an idea that they're not putting up some kind of shack, and not that it has to be engineer stamped, but if you see they're using used wood and you know, driftwood or something, you can say no, and if they're using good stuff and they got a halfway decent plan, we can let it go and not have a shanty town.
Does this stuff that they're talking about adding to their condition, mean it's gonna stay there year round? Or is
Most
it gonna be
campers-
taken out every year?
Most campers do stay there year round. Most campers do now.
Is that a town policy that they're?
We've allowed it because they've covered their own insurance throughout the winter. Like, for instance, this year, some of them got broken into, well, that was on them. They didn't get a lot of damage, knock on wood, but, and we did have a dead tree fall through the top of one before, and it was covered by their own insurance. We didn't have anything to do with it. But what these additions, they're not hooked to their camper permanent. The camper can be moved. If they sold the camper, they can pull it out. But it gives them a little extra room. In this case, it's gonna be a screened-in porch, and the lady had trouble with raccoons going in, and she couldn't stop them. So she wants something a little better to keep the bigger animals out of there.
So if they decide not to renew their lease 1 year for a season, they can pull their camper out and this other stuff just gets
No,
left there?
that has to go with it. That's why they make them so they can put them on a flatbed or whatever, take them out.
Yeah. Is that written down in the part of their agreement?
Definitely gonna be, cause
Yeah,
what I'm
okay.
trying to do
Well,
is.
it's just
get
taken care of. You don't want a shanty town up there that's half there and half gone.
Yeah,
And
it's still there, right,
people have their own agenda and they don't mind walking away at any point.
I know,
Or something comes up in their life where they've got to walk away.
yep, they can take their stuff with them, and, in the agreement, it'll be have plans accepted, material list accepted, and have something that they can take with them on the way out. So, unless somebody got a better idea how to take care of it, I mean, you know,
Most parks are going like that, so.
they are. And as long as it's decent, but, well, I'll tell you, before, we had some stuff made out of the worst looking mess you ever saw. It looked like shantytown up there, I wouldn't have stayed there for anything. We did get that all cleaned up, and there's one more that's straightening up now, so. So if this is the way you wanna go, I need a motion to make that
I
requirement.
make a motion.
Yeah. I'll second that.
So how do you want this resolution worded?
That,
Any additional
Any-
plans need to be approved by the
any
board?
additions built on camper trailers will have to be, the plan and the building material list will be approved by the board. And it has to be portable and able to be taken out when they leave, or if they leave.
Another thing, I would state in there that it would have to be sized as per that camper. In other words, if you got a 10x10 camper, don't put it on a 20x20.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
well, of course, that we could approve or not approve when they give
Sure.
us the plans, I suppose, but how could we word that? We can word that and put that in.
Because it'd look a lot better.
Well, just if they submit plans to you, you either approve them or you don't, or have them change them.
Yeah,
I see.
that'd be all right.
Shorter, yeah.
So we need a vote on this, please. Jeannie?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Joey?
Yes.
Highway signs, I ordered us a bunch of signs. I ordered some dead end signs for the Powerhouse Road. So that, nobody goes up that way where there's nothing there. End of town road signs and road under surveillance, signs and no dumping signs. Just to let you know that we ordered those through the county. So hopefully that'll help take care of the problems we've had on the dumping business. I did call the guy about the surveillance camera, I didn't get an answer back, he wasn't in, so he hasn't called me back yet. So, once we find out what our options are there, that might be help us a little bit too. As part of the minutes, the annual financial report has been done and filed with the state. You have to make that as part of the minutes.
I will need specifics on when it was filed.
Didn't she
The
hand that
date.
to you today?
No, I'll get to it
Okay.
now. Okay, can we have a,
You don't need a vote on that, it just has to be included in the minutes. Or, well,
well,
we can.
no,
in
it
a
was a resolution the
to
last time,
accept the
yes.
annual financial
Yeah,
report.
you need to
Do that.
accept it, yes.
So we need a motion on that.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
You need a motion to accept the report.
Yes.
It's filed. And a vote, please. Larry?
Yes.
Jeannie?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Joey?
Yes.
Powerhouse on there next, I've gotta get moving on the powerhouse. The roof leaks, I've still got part of a grant there that, so we need to somehow get the roof fixed and start putting windows in, permanent windows in. For life, I don't know how to advertise it. I know the amount of money there isn't gonna do all the windows, so I don't know how to go about advertising. I don't know how to advertise for the windows even, because they're different sizes. I don't know if I should, the roof, I don't think would be a big deal if somebody fixed the leaky part of the roof, but the window's definitely gonna be a little problem. Tom had mentioned he'd help me a little bit, I gotta get with him on that, try to come up with how to word it, you know what I mean? That's the hardest part, is trying to figure out what to put down for somebody to be interested in bidding on it, you know, I mean,
Looking for a free quote,
yeah,
get a few contractors in and look at it. Someone who does it all the time too is Joey Gilmore, he works for OGS.
Joey, yeah,
He's somebody good just to talk to, you know, it wouldn't cost us to talk to him.
yeah. Somehow we gotta get started, I wanna get that finished before we end up back in the same boat we were in, the birds in there and stuff all over again, so. I wanna get that wrapped up this year, so within this next month or so, I wanna come up with this. So if anybody can help me, I appreciate it. I don't know how to go about doing this. Tom said he would help, and if anybody else can, I'll check with Joey for sure. Come up with some kind of plan, so the trouble when you can't just say it, it's gotta be specifics, and you gotta know what you're talking about, and I don't in this case.
Could you advertise just for somebody that came to look at the project and measure and give you a,
Well, nobody wants to tip their hand, cause then, you know, they're giving up, you know,
yeah,
so nobody's gonna tell you what they think without,
how many windows are we talking about?
I don't know, I have to count them, but I know that's part of it.
Well, that's where you
know.
start.
But kinds of
Yeah.
windows and, I don't know, there's, whether they're pressure, or, how you wanna call it, double pane or not, or, you know, that kind of thing. And we gotta get something those birds aren't gonna fly through, cause they've done it before. I've got 1/4 inch plexiglass up there now, so they haven't had very good luck with that.
How many floors?
4, I wanna say 4. But it's okay, so the sidewalks, we've worked on those for years now, we aren't getting anywhere. Thought I had it mastered last year, tried to hire the guy and he didn't do it. So, I've already talked to some guys this year,
I
again.
get at least one call a week asking
Yeah,
about the
same
sidewalks. You too.
Well, I've gotten, somebody stopped in and a couple of people were interested in this week. So guys suggested to me that we take a can of paint and put a mark on whichever ones are gonna be replaced. It's gonna be sidewalk repair. It's gonna have to be advertised as sidewalk repair. If we stripe the ones that need to be replaced, he said, at least then everybody's bidding on the same thing. You're not gonna say, well, geez, this one's all right to me, but it's not to the next guy, kind of thing. So I thought that was probably a pretty good suggestion. I guess that'll be the next step, is to paint stripes on them and then measure it up and tell them where it is and let them bid on. Anybody think anything else we need to do to that? I guess if they look at it and they know what they're looking at, then.
Right, it's something that, I mean, before you know it, it'll be a fall again.
Yeah, if we just wanna get that right out.
It's gonna be something that's got to be addressed right now.
We haven't had very good luck, I'll tell you what, we've hired people, it seems like every year we've figured somebody's coming in to do it, we've hired them, and then they didn't end up doing it.
More people are getting out there, you see more and more people walking now.
Yeah.
I try to run on them too.
I wanna get that one whole side done first on that side of the road.
Right.
But some of it's new and some of it's beat up, so, and some of it's got like fine cracks, and so
Right.
it's gonna matter if somebody walking through there and saying, yeah, this one's gotta go and that one's gotta go, kind of thing, and go from there. So, we'll try to get that accomplished this week if I can, as far as marking them out, and try to get it advertised. Again, advertised, I should say. FEMA just sent us a paper, and I better don't have it with me, but another check coming for 14,000 something on some of the work that we've done. That'll go back into the highway fund where it came out of, and help pay for all that money we had to put out that we didn't have. Or luckily, we had enough to hang on to pay it out, so we didn't have to borrow it. Streetlights had it. Mark Clark came in today, he wanted a street light over on Alder Bend, 1730, the old Keith Clark's place, I guess. I think we have to call and request it, and I don't know what else you have, anybody know the procedure in that?
No streetlights on that road, is there?
He said there was one before him and one after him, if that's the case, I don't see why he couldn't have one,
Yeah.
but,
I don't think they're streetlights, I think they're private.
I'll have to go look,
Nice,
cause I
it's
really,
Private,
I'm just
right?
taking his word for it, I haven't looked, he
Private.
just told me this afternoon, so.
Pretty sure.
If there are no lights there, then they probably wouldn't start one right there, that's for sure. You don't think there are? He said on both sides of him there were down ways, on straightaways, now, I don't know, I haven't been
I
there.
didn't see, really remember.
I'll
Could be,
look,
you noticed.
I'll look and see, and then
How much would it cost, is that a big cost for us, no?
well, if Not really, I mean, whatever it is, I mean, they pay taxes on them, so if they're in there where they have them already, it wouldn't be a big thing, but if they don't, it would. In fact, they probably wouldn't do it if there's no other ones there. Usually there's a reason for it, if it's a dark corner, or it's this or that.
Yeah, right.
So, for your information, I'll check that out too, to see if there's even any streetlights on the road.
Yeah, I'll have to go there.
There you go, get the answer for me.
Check that out, you're right there.
Yeah.
We have-
I don't think there's,
He says he's seen them.
he probably.
We had a request come from St. Lawrence County, Franklin, Lewis, Clinton. They're sending them to all Jefferson County. Enclosed place, find a certified copy of resolution number 672012 entitled Reinforcing Support for the Construction of the Interstate 98 Multi-Model Corridor and Supporting Improvements to US Route 11, and to give priority to Canton, Potsdam, and Governor areas. Well, I didn't really see any reason to give them priority over others. There are already improvements going to be made on Route 11 in our end, so I didn't see reacting to this at this point. They wanted one that, it's been studied like 3 or 4 different times to have this road done up to interstate standards. So what they wanted us to do is pass a resolution to go along with them that in support of this road. There's, they tell me how much money there was out there. Oh, yeah. It says, whereas federal funds in the amount of $6.301 million were secured by Senator Schumer and Clinton and Congressman McEwen in 2005. That's why they want to access that money. That money's still sitting there, and they want to build that road up through Route 11. I recommend we hang on to this a little bit to see how it blends in with what we got going here, and let me go to the supervisors meeting and see what's going on with that. I don't want to jump out and pass some resolution that's going to hurt our cause through our own county, so we'll put that on hold. That's just to let you know that's out there. Okay, supervisors report. We need a motion on that.
I'll make it.
I'll second it.
And a vote, please. Jeannie?
Yes.
Joey?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
And Larry?
Yes. And approve the bills.
Make a motion on that. Move the bill.
Second.
I'm sorry, who made the resolution?
Ron?
And a vote, please. Larry?
Yes.
Joey?
Yes.
Jeannie?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
Anybody have anything to bring before the board?
Yeah, Larry, up where I live on 17 Westwood Road there, we've been having a problem with 2 buses turning around, they keep sinking in there. And every year, they put gravel there, and it gets mucky. It'll cost more money to put gravel there than what it'd be tar there. What it?
I don't know.
That fairground spot, we're gonna do that here, remember?
Oh, that's that same
Remember I told you you do a piece of property, and you said you would have to, because Mike Schmidt was always,
Okay.
now, why has he got anything to say? He owns his property, you know?
Well,
What are you suggesting then? What are you suggesting?
Well, he was mad because they won't turn down there, but they won't plow a yard out, and that's not for the town to do. and he stopped school buses from turning around. So, when Kenny Perry was in the office running, told him to take a spot on my property, put a turnaround. Well, they put gravel there, bring it a year, they sink. Now, town is gonna probably, for a truck to come up, tow them out when they sink, if they can't get out, you know what I'm saying? So I was wondering, would it be possible to tar that, to then have to put gravel and then spend more money every year on it?
What's your recommendation, Fred?
Well, we're gonna try, I can't remember, and we went through the lawyer, and the lawyer said not to.
Well,
couldn't go off.
it can be done, but it's gotta be done legally. In other words, you would have to turn the land over to, I think probably the school or the town, I'll have to check to see the wording on it. And then probably both would have to sign off on it in order to do that, then it would be a legal turnaround spot, and then nobody'd have anything they could say about it. I know it's needed there, I mean, we moved it, and there has been a lot of controversy there. If that's something that you wanna do, and Fred wants to do, I'll check into the legal wording and okay it with the school and.
Now, the school already called and talked to them, cause I heard from, the school, I heard from bus drivers, I called Wayne, and Wayne said, did he call Freddie, and already talked to Freddie about it? Cause like I say, every year, it just turns to mush in there, and
What did they say, Fred, when they called town, the school?
They didn't really say much about it, I just told them what we were trying to do, and we couldn't do it because of Mike Smith. He said it had to be done legal.
Yeah.
he was gonna tire it when he did the road down there. But Matt
Yeah,
called you and give you a hard time.
I know, and the reason they backed off is because the school didn't file the paperwork, so then I couldn't, but if that's what we wanna do, I'll go ahead and try to get all the legal aspects out of the way, and then
It's not a big,
we can,
Supposedly you just can't go in there and do it.
no, you can't. Well, if you do, and then he has a heart attack about it, turns to the town, and then there's nothing to do, so it's gotta be done right.
We can't do it, yeah.
all it goes, there's a little dead end, and
So let me check on legalities of it, we'll come back next meeting, we'll see.
they go do any good to tar it if you don't dig it out and put some.
I know it isn't really helping you any, it's just a matter of helping the school.
No, cause I'll check out with the bus driver, or Wayne calls me up, or he called Freddie up, and I called Freddie up and tell him what the bus driver said. You know, it makes it hard for him,
still
he's
sinking.
home when he's doing work, so.
Well, we can't have the kids stuck there.
Couldn't think of
Almost
fortune.
had a tarmac.
Yeah, right.
Had paper.
Okay, anybody else,
Stop sign's
something to bring up?
totally junk
Any
right
other
there, and I
guys?
don't know if there's a double arrow on that.
Okay, I'll adjourn,
Yeah, make a motion to adjourn. Second.
Fred, so you're talking about highway signs, or?
Please?
all these.
Gotta go pick-
Thanks, folks, for coming.
Fred.